LegacyMaker, the all sports network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking the pass and blitz. We're talking the jump and swish. We're talking the pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Deep bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they're not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuning to Legacy. Checkered flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the match? Legacy. You want a legacy? You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell, Owens, and Jay Quimby.
What up, what up, what up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 289. 5 years. 285. Good look, Jay. Good look. My mind is all over the place. 285. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our 5th year anniversary. 5 years of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast being out here in the airways. It's crazy to me that we have, when we started it 5 years ago, no clue, where it would be now, but definitely excited about it, brother. Definitely excited about it.
Absolutely, because you know what? We made it through this craziness of a pandemic. We've been to a lot of events, and a lot of the bigger things didn't forget us. They invited us right back. Thank you, ACC, A10, NASCAR. So appreciate everybody knowing and seeing the work that's been put in. I mean, we're getting ready to light it up. I mean, we got
Boy, it's going to be a crazy weekend. We got Notre Dame, Virginia this weekend. Me and Jay heading up there for that one. That's going to be a good one. High school football on Friday. It's just going to the next couple of months are going to be a whirlwind. But college basketball season with football going all at the same time. Potential ACC championship, all that good stuff. It's about to go down. But most definitely wanted to give love to all the supporters, all the people that have been there supporting us. 5 years. I looked at the memory the other day. I said, can I believe it's been 5 years? And thank you, Becca. Becca has been one of the loyal ones from the beginning, even being a part of the network. So thank you, Becca. We truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm got to just say, love you, sweetie. But,
so yeah, we feel pretty good, man. It's been a crazy.
I remember watching your first show and being like, he needs this. No, I didn't. I was just like, oh.
I love it. It wasn't bad. I remember the first show. I remember being nervous and like, all right, how am I going to do this? A person that's been on, and not trying to toot my home, but I've been on television, and I was more nervous doing that first show than I ever was doing commercials. Like I was sitting there like, I just wanted to be good, And so now here we are 5 years later. So once again, thank you to all the people that support us, everybody that's on the part of the LegacyMaker Sports Network team. So thank you, super thank you.
Absolutely. Hey. One more thing.
What?
I didn't get a chance to put the V in my hand, but thank you for all the veterans that allow us to do and follow our dreams. The ones that didn't get to come home, may they rest in peace. I had a whole list of people, I was going to put in the post because I was going to put the V. Because did you see the thing where they were putting the V with the star?
I did not.
It was representing Veterans Day, and you could do your individual thing. And I was gonna do that until I realized I got so many people in my life that I hold close. They
want to forget anybody. They didn't want to forget anybody. It's crazy because and I'll give a shout out to my immediate family. My grandpa, rest easy.
Your brother.
My brothers, 2 of my brothers were in the Army, Perry and Purnell. And then, my dad was in the Army. You know, I got a couple of nephews that were in the military, 2 sister-in-laws that were in the military. So it's, you know, one of those things where, you know, multiple family members are in the military. So much love to all of them, all the people that I know, all the ones that are no longer with us. We love you. Thank you for everything you do.
I got a couple in my, our small tribe is Matt Kazart, Donovan's dad. He was in, I can't remember if it was the Air Force or I know what it was. I just want to give him shit and piss him off. But he served down in Florida.
Trying to find a reason.
And, our guy, LA brought us. I didn't realize it, but Becca pointed it out for me, man. I appreciate you. Love you.
Yeah, much love. Much love to our guy, LA.
Love you, and maybe we can snuggle. I don't know.
You know what? All right, y'all. Look, let's go ahead and we got a lot to get into because it's been a crazy week. It's been some mind-blowing situations going on, but we're going to start off. 2 things happened today. So before I even get to this, before the topics were already set mentally, and then some of these kind of just came into fruition as the day was going along. So we got a couple top stories. Then we'll go over our recap and predictions from there. But let's go ahead and start off with the one that just happened probably within the last hour, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Mr. Odell Beckham becoming a Ram. This one is
don't make any damn sense.
To me, all right. I'm lost of words right now because as a Packers fan, I got to throw this out there. I hate when media, and that includes us, we get out there and we pump a story. Or once the story gets out there, you hear it all week long. All I heard was Packers. Number one priority. But then I heard late that the reason why he did not choose the Packers is because it seemed like the Packers weren't looking at him long term, and then LA was looking at him long term. Now, Jay, my whole thing about this Beckham situation is this. I've been saying, since he, dropped the news that, once everything went, he got released, I knew he was going to LA. And I'm going to tell you why. His brand. And as soon as I saw LeBron James starting to come on, free Odell. And it was something about it. He was trying to get Odell in LA. And to me, it's about winning. And obviously LA is going to put him in a good spot to win. But it's also about the brand. It is also about the brand. And that's where, we know that Odell, even though he hasn't been great the last couple of years, his brand still means a lot. Commercials, whole 9 yards.
Well, and, the thing, I will give your team the credit on this. They offered the league minimum. And from what I've heard, that's what he signed with the Rams because they barely had a pot to piss in. But let alone signing another person. And then, but the reason they didn't want to go long term with him is there's so many question marks around him. Right. And then you also, from that 2014 draft wide receiver class, you guys had a 4th round steal in Devontae Adams, and you're trying to work out a long term deal with him. I'm sorry, but we know what we got with Adams. The fanfare is there. He knows the system. He knows Aaron. If Aaron's still there, the Packers did the right thing. And I don't say this often, but they did the right thing here.
Yeah, I'm not completely mad with you. All right. The fan in me says, God, we need a number 2 receiver, even if it was a 1-year rental. That's what the fan in me says. But just like you said, as a media guy, as a guy that's in the journalism field, I start thinking to myself, you know what? This may have been smarter, because if he's pushing, the envelope, they want to make sure Devontae is back. They want to make sure Aaron is back. After that Jordan Love performance from last week, which we'll get into a little bit later, you know what I'm saying? You're going to start to see that type of stuff. So our man LA Brodus, and once again, LA, much love, brother. Happy Veterans Day. He said, this might not be as big as people think. I'm just being honest. Cooper Kupp is the man there. And that's absolutely true. Cooper is the man there. I can't see anybody else, overcoming Cooper there in LA.
Agree 1,000%. But the other thing that worries me about this is, yes, Von Miller is a very soft-spoken person. They, did what they had to do. But OBJ is going to be lining up sometimes against Jalen Ramsey. And these two both have egos that they have to actually pack in an extra bag when they fly. So, that concerns me because, it's one of those things. OBJ, a lot of people, how's he going to be in the locker room? And now we got two very egotistical people in the locker room. I don't like the move. I agree with LA. I think, Stafford is a great quarterback, but he is not, from what I've seen, a leader. He is a badass. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he is not a leader, because if he was a leader, Calvin Johnson would never left.
That's a good one. Our man Corey Allen, great photographer here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. He's Odell, still a top 10 receiver. He will show it within the next 3 games. Watch. I will be very intrigued, Corey, if that goes down. I promise you. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I still think he had the better chance of going to a all-time great quarterback compared to Matt Stafford, who is not a bad quarterback, like you said. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is this. This is what concerns me about LA. You get all these big names, the Von Millers, the Jalen Ramsey, the Donald. You got all of these elements mixed together. If Sean McVay is going to have to do the best coaching job of his life to make sure he can ream all of that in.
Plus, keep the egos in check.
And to go win a championship. And the prime example of how to do that is what your boys did last year, where Bruce Arians and Tom Brady was able to bring all of those different elements together to win them a championship.
How scared I was when we brought AB in. And,
right.
I love what AB does on the field, but we once again have a quarterback that is a leader.
Exactly. And LA's got a good one here. OBJ's dad is going to be an issue. Browns never had an issue with him in the locker room. It was outside of the stadium. And then Ella also says the LA Rams remind me of the Eagle Squad. Now, see,
I was thinking about that same thing. Yes.
And that's what worries me about super teams in the NFL, because, you got to bring all these pieces in to see it, hope that they all click. See, I still think the Rams did themselves a disjustice by letting go their young stud. And what's my man that they traded to Denver? Young? I can't think of first name, but he was a nice young piece on that team. They traded him to Denver, and then the next week later they traded for Von Miller to come there. And I just they're going all in.
They're more about signing premium names than letting the homegrown talent stay there. They had Johnson. He was one of the top 5 safeties in the league in that scheme, and they just let him walk away.
Yeah, see, I'm worried. This is what concerns me about the Rams. Obviously, yes, they want to win now. Can't take that away from them. If you want to win now, you got to go after it. I completely agree with that. But they have mortgaged their future so bad that when they're trying to fill that stadium 5-6 years from now, when the bills start to come in, you're trying to fill that stadium, and half of the guys that you had on that team from this year are all gone or retired or whatever, you're not going to have a future to build, because you're not going to have any draft picks whatsoever. Like, it's like 4 or 5 years of just no draft picks for this LA team. But if you win a Super Bowl out of this, at least you can say, the NFL got a team in LA with a Super Bowl. They're one of their number one markets now, obviously with the Rams and the Chargers being there. So it's a big story.
It's huge, but then you go back, and the one thing you look at is, the Titans defense wasn't healthy when they played them, and they still shut them down.
Exactly. Only one person on our network picked him, and that was not Ty. That was Lamont. And much credit to Lamont. No one in the world, saw this happening. I mean, other than Titans fans. Like, you going in this matchup looking at no Derrick Henry, you don't know what your running game is going to look like. Oh, hey, guess what? We'll be fine. They went out there and they played great ball. The Titans are playing great football right now.
In 2 weeks, and I never thought I would say this, but in 2 weeks we'll get to see something, because they play your team.
This is true.
I gotta say, here recently, your defense has been one of the best defenses on the field that I've seen in a hot minute, because they really are. They're coming together as a unit. It's great.
It's good to see. That doesn't happen often. And the crazy thing about it is our two best players, not even on the field. Our two best defensive players, not even on the field. That's the crazy thing. No Smith, no Alexander. Both are injured. Smith will be back a little bit sooner than it looks like Alexander. Alexander may be a long shot. He may not come back
Which
at all.
Smith?
Zadarius.
Okay.
Smith. Yeah, there's so many of them at this point.
Well,
so many of them at this point.
For me, I think this is I don't want to say any injury is good, because you want to see all that money on the field doing what they got to do. You never want to see people. But I've really seen Rashawn Gary is kind of coming to his own.
Yes.
And that's what you want to see from a first-round pick. So, I
mean, you draft the guy 12. Yeah, you see, draft the guy at 12, you want to see good things happen from him. So, crazy day. But we're not even done yet. We're not even done yet, because that was only one of the things that happened. But, that happened today. And this happened a little bit earlier in the day. Go ahead, Dan.
Let's give Rob his credit, because Rob said they should do this when he found out about Sam Darnold.
He did.
I love Rob. Sometimes his head get a little big, but all of us do. And he did call this. But there's an interesting thing I told Becca about earlier. But go ahead.
So, yes, it happened a little bit earlier today. Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Newton is back in Carolina. I'm not going to lie to you. And it didn't click in my mind. So, like I said, we got to give Rob credit where credit was due. It did not even click in my mind that Cam Newton would be a great fit to go back to Carolina. It just didn't click. But now, as I see it all unfolding, I love this story, Jay. I love him going back to Carolina, where it all started. He wants to prove that he still can win in this league. This Panthers team is not a slouch by far. He's got decent players around him. The defense is, at one point was the number one defense in the league during this season.
Well,
so,
like Mac Jones, just grab their ankles and mess them up.
Yeah, I'm very excited here to see what Cam is going to do here, with the Panthers the second time around. Now, he's not going to play this week from what I'm hearing. P.J. Walker's still going to start this week.
But P.J. Walker is very much the same player as Cam.
Exactly. So if P.J. Walker is out there, this is P.J.'s opportunity to go out there and guess what, y'all? If he wants to be a starter in this league, or he wants a chance to sign, this is his chance right now. This is his opportunity right now if he wants to make that happen. So
now,
we'll see.
Next week when Cam's eligible, well, not eligible to play, but more likely to play, they play the Washington football team in Charlotte against Ron Rivera, the man that cut him. Yeah,
and that's a very intriguing. I kind of wish this had happened last week, so Cam could get like a double whammy type of revenge potentially. They played the Patriots last week. He could have had a chance then. Then the following week, Washington. It would have been fun for us as media. It would have been fun for us.
Media have been great, but I mean the revenge on the Patriots wouldn't be for me. Cam Newton embodied, the Carolina way.
Right.
And he was that team for a long time. And then all of a sudden they're like,
yep. You know how loud I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't attended a lot of games just as a fan in the last 5 years. Yourself, you would agree with this. Like we both haven't attended games as fans in the last 5 years.
It's hard.
And it's hard. So I would love to be a fly on the wall or somewhere along the stadium walls to see the reaction when Cam Newton comes back through that tunnel next week. It's going to be explosive. Obviously, he's going to be there this week, but it's going to be different. It's going to be completely different when they come through. When they come through next week, man, and when he finally comes back home, they got to go to Arizona this week. But it's going to be fun. But I'm happy for Cam though.
Well, and speaking of that, I was looking at getting tickets for you and I for the Washington football team because they play in DC, FedEx Field against my team, and I would love to go see that in person.
Right.
But for the nosebleed seats, you were going to have to sell a kidney.
At least two kidneys.
It was crazy. So
at least two kidneys. LA says the prodigal son returned. That is true. Heading back to Carolina. A name I haven't seen in a while. Mr. TC Tom Casey. TC in the building. What's up, brother? Hope all is well. Hey, real quick, get love to Mac Jones. I'm really high on Mac Jones right now. I'm just saying he's my rookie of the year. I'm just putting it out there.
I can't say he's offensive rookie of the year because Jamar Chase is putting together a great season.
Yeah, I know Chase has been great, but I'm just I don't know what it is about Mac Jones I'm impressed about.
Mac Jones has so far been the best rookie quarterback statistically.
Exactly. I mean, Chase is obviously probably going to win the award, but I'm really, 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 really like Mac Jones. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I really like him. And TC says, how about them Patriots, fellas? Patriots have been doing good, man. Like, big win against the Chargers. Nice win against the Panthers last week. I will say this, Jay, about them. I feel like they can sneak in at 7 or 6. And if you're a team, you don't want to see this team because they're really well coached, once again, by, Belichick. It's going to be something to see. It's going to be something to see.
And, the game that I really, it was close and, they probably should have won it was against, hold on, I got to turn this up.
The Arlington Desperados.
Because it can't say it out loud, right? Because you can't say it out loud.
Because, that was a great game. And, there was a secondary glitch. But you got to see that they have a lot of different weapons on offense. Mm-hmm. And, Belichick sent, the previous defensive player of the year for like 2 bags of Skittles to the Panthers.
2 bags.
Yeah.
2 bags.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. And I think they actually even played without Jackson.
Yeah. Like I said, I love what I've seen from them. They're going to definitely be a team to reckon with. And now, guess what? They're not too far out in the East because the Bills lost last week. They're only a game out. The Patriots could somehow, if they can continue to play better, could win this division. It would blow everybody's mind.
It just baffles me because the Bills, like you and I talked last week, they're doing what the Packers did a couple years ago, and they're not playing consistent football. They're playing to the level of their competition, and it really showed last week, man. It was bad.
Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. And our man Cody Stewart says Mac Jones tapped into an inner Kurt Angle on the Brian Burns last week with the ankle lock. That was hilarious. And then TC says reminds him a lot of the 01 Patriots team, that team that Tom Brady and the crew kind of snuck through and got themselves a Super Bowl, started this dynasty run. Cody also says Jay showing all the guns out on LegacyMaker today.
No, these are pea shooters, bro.
With the pose. Also,
I wore this for somebody else.
Our girl Becca says the Arlington team ain't gonna save you now. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Chop chop.
But yeah, really love what I've seen from them, and they're gonna continue to grow. But Cam back in Carolina, cool to see. Very cool to see.
It's nice to see. Let me see. I'm probably gonna mess this up, but since 2006, Belichick has drafted 15 Pro Bowlers. And but if you look at it, I don't think any of them have been first round picks.
Craziness, right? I mean, but the guy develops. That's what you gotta love about Bill Belichick, man. That's what you gotta love about him. So Cam, congratulations. Welcome back to Carolina. Now, this next topic we're going to talk about, Jay, is a little bit of a touchy one.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk too crazy long on this, but we got Dalvin Cook. There's some legal trouble where they're saying there's some abuse going on, and I want to make sure this is correct, Jay. I don't know if it was with his child or his wife. I can't remember which one it was.
It's his. I don't think it's his wife. I think it's his girlfriend.
It's his girlfriend. All right.
Or / baby mama, but from the looks of it, it could be. We don't know. We're not there. We're not to see. any type of abuse, in my opinion, unacceptable. But he is getting the beatings just as much as he might be giving them out. That's
it's crazy. Like the whole situation, I don't know what to really make of it yet because I haven't heard all of the details. But I mean, this is still a very alarming thing, and it's kind of like it's like with the Deshaun Watson situation to an extent. People usually go out there to hear the first thing, and you go from there. I think I'm gonna really take a step back on this one because if I learn anything from the Deshaun Watson situation, I'm gonna kind of like sit back and try to hear the evidence, go from there. I hope that is not true, and that this would be a bad trend for Minnesota running backs because obviously Adrian Peterson had that situation when he was in Minnesota with his son.
Right.
You don't want to see this happen on any front, but that's one thing that you can't tolerate. If this is true, you cannot put your hands on a woman. You just can't.
No.
You got to be careful. It's a thin line around here. Unless she coming at you with a knife, bro. Unless she coming at with you with a knife,
But it's not no thin line. I don't care. Never.
Yeah.
Never strike a woman. Now
she got to go. She coming at with me with a knife, man. I got to defend myself. I got to kick her.
That's a whole different situation because she's trying to murder you. Now, if she's coming different. After with scissors, then you just need to run and put a cup on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Thanks for the advice, Jay. I appreciate that.
I guess it just my dad always said, a woman hits you, if you can't take that hit, you're a bitch. I hate to put it that way.
That sounds like something Pops would say.
He's like, even if she doubles her hand up and hits you like a dude, be a man. Take it. So we're going to find out over the next couple of weeks. As we hear more about it, we'll update you on future shows. So hope that everybody in this situation, everything does get back to a better spot. Now, our last top story that we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, college basketball has returned. The 2021-22 college basketball season was started on Tuesday. Yes.
Crazy games out there. I think Duke had a thriller against Kentucky. There was just some really good games out there. Now, go ahead, Dave.
Akron in Ohio. Akron with like 7-8 seconds completed a 4-point play, but we ended up winning with a layup.
Craziness. Virginia just never came to play in this. When I went out to UVA to watch Virginia take on Navy, and UVA is number 25 team in the country. But to be honest with you, this team is kind of unknown. We didn't know what UVA was going to bring to the table because, yes, they had Kiad Clark coming back, but other than that, they really didn't know. And they lost. Navy came there hot shooting from the get-go, and boom, they defeat UVA in Charlottesville. Crazy thing about it, they haven't lost an opening game in 24 years. They haven't lost an opening game in 24 years until that night. Then they haven't lost 8 straight home wins, 8 straight home games at home. So it's been crazy. So
it's definitely it's weird, but I mean, did you wear that UVA hat?
I didn't. Okay. I wore the only thing I had UVA. The only thing I had on is my UVA credential, and that was as far as it went.
I just wanted to ask because, I mean, if you have the hat on, and that's what, burn it.
Yeah, well, I don't even know where it is, to be honest with you. It's in the house somewhere. I gotta look for it.
I know where it's in that back closet because you whipped that sumbitch in there.
Yeah, it's probably. So, I mean, but college basketball is underway. As the year goes along, VCU had a win. Richmond got a win. The women's team, they start on Friday, defending their A-10 title. They're going to have a ring ceremony on tomorrow. And then Richmond women took a tough loss. I think UVA women start tomorrow, and then they have a game on Sunday. So it's college basketball in the way, baby. That's all I know. Let's go.
Becca said something. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's VCU women's coach got a 2-year deal.
Yeah, Bethel Boyle did sign a 2-year extension to tack on to her. I think her contract ended in 24. They extended it to 26, so she's going to be there for the next 5 years,
which is great for them.
Yeah, leading that program.
Make sure you check out Rob Johnson's Bram Talk. He's doing good things, man.
It's back. It's back, and the good energy. And I love the intro too, Rob. Much love on that. Much love on that. All right,
It was a great intro, but I love the way everything begins. Just watch the whole show.
What? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What does that mean? You love everything. What do you mean? I love
what you know what I mean. Exactly.
But I mean, I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. I think that it's going to continue to grow. And you know, bring Blake. Oh God, listen, I'm talk about Blake. I think Blake already got released, if I'm not mistaken. He might have already got released. All right, y'all. So let's
go ahead.
Let's go into week 9. We're gonna go over our week 9 recap here. Of the games last week, and we won't stick with this crazy long one. We'll just go through real quick.
What a shit show it was.
Of
us guessing.
Oh, yeah. Trying to figure that junk out, right? Like, subtract the 3, go back, do a little something there.
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. No, don't care. I think since there's 17 weeks, we should be able to like take a week out. I think it should be last week.
I agree. Last week was rough. Last week was rough. I don't even want to. I don't even know what my record was last week. I didn't even go back and look at it.
This is week 10.
Week 10. We have already crept up into week 10.
That's what you forgot to do is pick our awards for halfway through the season.
Oh, that's what we did. We'll do that.
I guess we're gonna have to wing ding it.
Dude, we can sling it then. All right, well, let's sling it then. All right, so shoot, I only really
Let's do the recap quickly.
Let's do the recap and that'll give me time to mentally start. They're gonna people. We're gonna throw it off the cuff.
And the Colts game.
Yeah, we did already talk about the Jets and the Colts. So Browns and Bengals. Browns beat up on the Bengals 41-16. It wasn't close. And I was surprised because, you know, the Bengals have been playing solid football, even though they lost the week before. But
now let's say something. When somebody comes around and tosses the ball around, the Bengals defense sucks. They can stop the run. They can't stop the pass because look how many yards they give to Mike White.
Right, exactly. And I got to say about Donovan Peoples-Jones. That kid is special, man. And I know it's gonna take him. He's growing, and you give him about 2 more years, and we'll be talking about like, man, this kid's really, 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 really good.
He was a 5-star prospect, and I went through with you the people that was in his recruiting class: Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs III. Just all types. I mean, it was nuts that he was number 1 wide receiver, and he just didn't do much in Michigan because they suck. I mean, I didn't say that. I'm sorry to the people up north. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was great watching the Browns come back to life because, you know, we know the Browns are a good team. We know they're a good team. It's been on and off the last couple of weeks, but very impressive victory against a team that was at one point 2 weeks ago the number 1 team in the AFC North, and now are in last place.
They signed both their guards to extensions, which is smart. Their offensive line is the number 1 paid offensive line in the league. And, I mean, the holes they were opening up for Nick Chubb, who is on the COVID list this week. I mean, Nick Chubb is still blowing my mind the way that's deceptive big man speed. I mean, whew.
It's crazy. Like, he broke loose for a 70-yarder in that game. I'm like, man, I love Nick Chubb. So still a great pick by Cleveland a couple years ago. Just imagine they got Dearness Johnson, who's having a really good run while Hunt is out. So when Hunt is back, you got 3 guys that can run the rock, and you know you can trust Johnson now.
Exactly.
Watch out. Next game, Broncos versus a team with a silver type like star thing going on. They played them last week, and it was bad early because it wasn't even early. They went in there and they punched them in the mouth. Last time I checked, it was 30-0. So
yeah, that's why I was holding this up.
30-0.
Okay, they've got to fix the defense. If they don't fix the defense, Dan Quinn's ass has got to go. Plain simple.
Well, it's crazy because the defense has played pretty well up until for the most part, they played decently until last week, and it was bad. But you can't do anything defensively when your offense look as bad as they did last week. But much love to the Denver Broncos defense. They looked great last week.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the guys from the three-point conversion, I don't know who it was, said Trayvon Diggs is a buster. He ranked 101 in PFF. Just because he's catching the ball and making interceptions, he still gets blown out. And you saw that in that play against the Patriots that forced him into overtime. So
it's crazy. Yeah, because he make the big play, and then the next thing you know, got him. It was crazy. It was crazy. But Broncos go on and get a dub. And real quick on the Broncos, win the first 3 games, lose the next 4, win the last 2. They real streaky. Just streaky as they come. As streaky as they come right now.
With the way the Chiefs are playing, them and the Chargers have a very good chance of winning this division.
Well, the AFC West is so tight right now because the last place team is 5-4, and then the Raiders are everybody's pretty much like a game and a half out. You know, like I think the Chargers are in first place. Raiders they're both 5-3, and then the other 2 teams are 5-4. So it's just like, okay, we'll see how things go. So the AFC West is going to be a dogfight, and they got a big one on Sunday night with Chiefs and Raiders. So very critical game coming on Sunday night. Next one was the Dolphins and the Texans battle of the 7-game losing streak. That was the battle of the 7-game losing streak. Only one team could prevail, and that was the Miami Dolphins winning 17-9 in Miami.
And the Eagles were just like, oh, well, whoever wins, we still get both the picks.
Real facts. It doesn't even make a difference. Y'all can lose all you want. We'll get top 3 pick, top 5 pick. Doesn't even make a difference. Y'all just keep losing. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh, man. They get real lucky and the Lions start winning games. They'll both be in the top. Then they had their first 2 picks, and then the Eagles start sucking. They had the first 3 picks. Who knows? Man, I tell you what, man. If you're an Eagles fan, I don't know. You're the expert on the – we're both decent. You're the expert on the draft. Top 10-wise right now, could the Eagles really be set, or is it like a light draft class in your opinion? If it all goes in fruition.
Depending what they're looking for, there's a couple interesting prospects for quarterback because if they're not sold on Hurts, that's going to be one of the usages.
Right.
And for me, quarterback would be where they go, and then they've drafted a lot of wide receivers, but this class and wide receiver is very deep.
So this might be one to snag one.
Offensive line, which is another thing, and then secondary. There's a couple secondary guys. Remember? Did you finish watching this stuff?
Yeah, man. Hamilton kid we get to see him this weekend. It should be fun.
Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame. Some of the comparisons I've read, but after I see him live, I'll give you guys my. But
intel.
His range is like Marcus Peters' range at 6'4", 220.
It's quick, man. He's a quick 6'4" guy. I'm telling you, man. I was watching him. I said, man, this guy is swift. He is swift. And, the Eagles could be set.
Singletary Jr. from LSU and then Elam from Florida are the top corners. So, they definitely got to lock up the secondary. But I just don't see – we're going to go see Willis, not this weekend, but the next weekend. And tonight we got Pickett, or is it Pickett?
Pickett versus Howell coming on tonight, which should be a really good matchup.
And Pickett actually got had an invite ready to be sent to him last year for the Senior Bowl.
Well, he's going to be something special. We talked about it when we went to ACC. He was sitting by himself on the side. No one was talking to him, but that kid had swag for days, and we knew he was going to. We were like, yo, man, he could be the guy no one's talking about. And in mid-season, we'll be talking about him. And guess what? We're talking about him right now.
He does something that 2 quarterbacks in the NFL do that is better than anybody, and that's Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And he's able to use his he's not fast. He's not elusive, but he's able to use his legs to extend plays and make accurate throws.
This draft is going to be a fun one, especially, the quarterback is kind of a suspect draft in some people's eyes. So we're going to see where the
Everybody
thing
had
lands.
Howell as the number one, and his first game of the season, he was just exposed.
He hasn't been great. Yeah, he hasn't been great.
He's settled down though. The last couple of games, and we got to see what he does tonight because, Pitt does have a very decent defense. So
that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a good one. You know how tempted I am to go to Pittsburgh next week. So tempted, but no, I'm not going to do that. That's a 6-hour ride.
So, anyways, the next game is the Falcons at the Saints, and that was figured out by a field goal, and Trevor Siemian.
They played good late, but that's the problem. And the Falcons, and I remember our man James Brown of the network was like in the group chat. He said, "Man, I'm gonna tell you right now." And they go classic. He just knew they were going to give the game away. But when Ryan hit Cordell Patterson along the sideline with that catch, and then they ended up pulling it off. I mean, Patterson is just what a great story. Cordell
Comeback
Patterson.
player of the year.
Comeback player of the year. I mean, the guy has been phenomenal, man. And he's going to make the Pro Bowl. At this rate, he's going to make the Pro Bowl. I would even. You got to throw at least a ring in there for maybe offensive player of the year because he's been really good for that Falcons. I'm not saying that he's going to win it, but he's definitely deserves to be in that conversation.
He's not done what Lamar done and been like 80% of the offense, but you got to say he's been at least 40% of it.
Yeah, he's been a solid part of that because they've been trying to figure it out there, but they got to win. And somehow the Falcons, who at one point in my power rankings was the last team, have snuck their way on up towards the middle. They're 4-4, and somehow they're in the mix in the AFC South, in the NFC South, so they're in the mix.
And
they're not going to win it. They're in the mix.
But something to keep an eye on. We got the news last week. Michael Thomas is not coming back this season, and there was rumors of Odell, but then Alvin Kamara is hurt, so we don't know what it is, if he's going to be out of game or what's going on. And he is their Christian McCaffrey right now.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see how everything unfolds there. Next game we had Giants and Raiders. It was 23-16. Giants get the W over the Raiders. Very surprising to an extent, but the Raiders to me are.
It was nice to see a couple of the second-year guys step up for the Giants, and Derek Carr really owned. I can't turn the dang ball over, and we'd win this game. And he's right, but he didn't, and he turned it over.
Yeah, and the Giants looked really good. I mean, it was. I was impressed on what I saw from the Giants last week. I don't know if it's going to continue, but I did like what I see. Nice win for the Giants last week against the Raiders. Next matchup was the Patriots and the Panthers. Mac Jones, I know we talked about it already a little bit, so I'm not going too deep in there, but Mac Jones. I like what I see from Mac Jones.
They don't have him throwing a route. 12 of 18, and one of those was a pick.
Right.
But he's doing what he's got to do. So, again.
And they're letting him, they're not forcing him in it. They're letting him grow. I like how they're like, it almost feels, I don't want to say like Jimmy G, but it feels like they're letting him like develop without putting too much on him.
A bitch-ass buster play that he did on Brian Burns. Let's be honest.
Yeah. The Kurt Angle, baby. Next matchup.
The Patriots broke Sam Darnold for
forever.
They say 4 to 6 weeks, but as Becca said, it's the rest of the season unless they make the playoffs. Yeah,
and then right now, the Cam is back. If Cam goes in there and they start, going, looking good
you
again,
ain't gonna change it.
You ain't gonna see the field again. So it's, Cam is the monster that they know. So we'll see how that goes. Next matchup was Jaguars and Bills. No touchdowns in this contest. 9-6. Screwed me last week in fantasy. Last week was this.
Not
it hurt my
gonna
heart.
disagree, but let's talk about, is this the other Josh Allen's coming out party? Because
it was
he
great.
was taken right after Devin White in that draft, and we didn't. I just don't think he was utilized right before, and now it's hard for me to even say this, but Urban Meyer's allow him to blitz and do what he does best, and it's great.
Well, they're having a lot of Josh Allen on Josh Allen crime going on there. The funny thing about it was I saw a video and maybe Urban Meyer, even after all, do I still got it in here? I don't know if I still got it in here or not. Wait a minute. Is it still in here? Of course.
Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head.
It's going to stay in there. It's going to bring a laugh. What I will like it is that, I feel like the team has rallied around him despite everything that went on. Because there was a video on TikTok where you see them all in the breakdown.
That's because, they're one of the younger teams in the league age-wise. So they're like, Coach, tell us your magic.
Yeah, and so when he went in there, they're all in there, and it was like 1, 2, 3, grind. I said, y'all are wild for that. So I at least they're starting to play better, And so we'll see what they do throughout the year. But man, tough loss for the Bills. They did not need this. They did not need this.
Again, next competition. Go ahead.
That's true too. Next matchup was Ravens and Vikings, 34-31. The Vikings, Jay, to me, are a team that you never know what you're going to get from them on a week-to-week basis. If you told me, hey, Darrell, the Vikings are going to win this week, I would believe you. If you told me, Darrell, the Vikings are going to lose this week, I believe you. Because you really don't know what Vikings team is going to show up. Because they could go in there and beat the Cardinals. They could go in there and beat the Packers or the Cowboys. They could beat those teams.
You said it. Yes.
I mean, I gotta say it, man. I'm a media person, man. The Desperados. I mean, but they can go in there and they can beat those teams, though. And they've lost to those teams this year, but they could have won those games. They should have beat the Desperados. They should beat the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been in those games and haven't been able to play. They could have beat the Browns. They've been in every game.
Agreed, but on the flip side, it makes you worry about the Ravens for the fact of their offense, and Lamar Jackson is the entire team. Let's be honest. Right. And that defense supposedly has so many people on it, they're not doing anything. Matt Judon had 2 of the dumbest penalties I've seen since they called Bosa for the Chargers on roughing the passer. That was a sack, you jackass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I don't know, man. I look at this Ravens team, and yes, they're 6-2. They're the second best team in the AFC. But there's something, like you said, they got to figure something. They've got to find a way to open up that offense more. We've been talking about this for 2 years now, and they could easily be 7-1. They could have won that game against Oakland, Las Vegas at the beginning of the season. But, they're still in the mix. They're going to be a tough team. They're going to be a tough out. I don't know if they're Super Bowl ready, but they're definitely going to be a tough team once playoff time comes. So we'll see what they bring. Next one was Chargers and Eagles. Chargers win 27-24. I think we both needed the Chargers to win last week. We were hoping for wins. It's like, man, please, because it wasn't looking positive at one point. But it was a W for the Chargers.
It's crazy to think right now the Eagles are sitting at 3-6 and they're still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah. Like the 49ers are in the play. I was looking at the 49ers are still in the mix and they're like 3-5. The Seahawks are still in there 3-5. I mean, like everybody's in. Like the Washington football team somehow is in the mix, and it's bad. Let's just put it that way. So the NFC is still kind of wide open because there's such a the top half of the conference. Those first 5 slots already locked in. It's those last 2 that is going to be literally the definition of wild card. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy.
And I'm actually more afraid against Washington this weekend than I've been afraid against anybody so far this year.
You know why? Because Heineke has confidence against that team. He knows, they know how to play him. They know how to play him too.
Heineke said that game revitalized his career because if he wouldn't have played the way he did in that game, he wouldn't be in football right now.
Exactly.
And BA, Bruce Arians is in love with Heineke. So if he becomes available, I guarantee he will be a Buccaneer.
I would not be surprised by that.
And I'd be happy with that because I think he's better than Blaine Gabbert.
The kid's got talent, and I think he might be just in a bad he's in a bad quarterback situation. Like sometimes you just got to get to the right team, right place. I mean, yes, Washington gave him their opportunity, but who knows what the future can hold for young Taylor Heineke. Exactly. Next matchup was the Chiefs and the Packers. Chiefs won this one 13-7.
That was a hard game to watch, bro.
It was a hard game to watch for me because, we knew going in the Packers weren't supposed to win this game mentally, right. In my mind. I some game, you know how it is, Jay. You have some games you go in and say that team is, if they win, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt going into this game. You're going into Kansas City. Jordan Love's first game starting. And I'm not going to say I was disappointed, but there was a lot of the one thing he kept doing that drove me crazy was the fadeaway throws, bro. Like I was like, what are you doing?
The throwaway throw across his body.
Right. He was trying to do Aaron Rodgers stuff, and you're not there yet. Right. You're not there yet, young man. It's okay to develop and grow, but it was hard to watch some of that. And you can see kind of the deer in the headlight look a little like a couple of times during that game. And somehow, some way, with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, they were still in the game. They scored a touchdown. The defense did all they could all game long to stay in that contest. But what else?
Defense looked great. They had some great goal line stands against the Chiefs. And, this is for the Chiefs people. Shame on you for putting Jordan Love's mom and girlfriend / fiance way the hell up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah, they was at the top of the ring. I said, Jane, they wait. Look, and when I saw the camera zoom, I said, where they going to? I was like,
they're in the box on the building across the street.
That's what it felt like. But maybe they all, I mean, then again, who knows? Maybe they just stayed there so they wouldn't get harassed, but ain't nobody trying to harass you from that high. I mean, it's crazy.
No, you get nosebleeds, you up there harass them.
If I was up there, I'd have passed out twice, and I ain't got time for none of that. Next one, Cardinals and 49ers. Very impressed with Colt McCoy in this one. That's the biggest takeaway for me. Him and James Conner had great days for the Cardinals.
22 of 26, 249 and a touchdown for Colt McCoy.
Yep, and Conner had 3 touchdowns.
What I say last week, this is the first time McCoy's had this many weapons since he was at Texas.
Right, he was cheesing. We were both hoping. It's like, man, I hope they found a way to pull it off. And they won this game. It wasn't even a contest, to be honest with you. They had this game in control the whole time. So
everybody's going back to that Christian Kirk pass for the pass he completed for 33. I went back and watched some of his college stuff or high school stuff. That gentleman has a cannon. He really does.
Right. Man, I'm telling you, but Cardinals, man, very impressive win against the 49ers because those two teams always play each other tough. So, hey, Cardinals 8-1, best team in the NFL right now. Next matchup was the Sunday night matchup, Titans and Rams. The Rams continue to grow and become a super team, but a loss that a lot of people didn't see coming to the Titans. The Titans are 7-2, the best team in the AFC, and they won this one 28-16.
Kevin Byard, one of the best safeties. Remember, I wrote the nice article.
Right, nice little something.
So 2 interceptions, Stafford, but this is the thing that really got me, and this is something that should worry the Rams. 5 sacks of Stafford. 5.
Well, let me ask you this about Stafford. Stafford has come from a place where he's used to losing. Used to falling apart. Used to that he was embedded in that Detroit culture.
Yeah.
Do you think at some point, or maybe we saw a little bit in last game, but do you think that Detroit mindset will come back to hunt him at some point, or when they're trying to make that run in the playoffs? Because sometimes you get that locked in from a team that you come from. Like an example, Brady brought all of that mojo from New England down to Tampa. Some people had that effect And he was he made the playoffs a couple times, but they lost, Jay, a lot of ugly ones in Detroit. So he doesn't sometimes have that gene of coming off of a bad boy.
I'm gonna just say I don't think so, because when Henry went out, they could have just gave up. They could said, our best players down. Oh shit! I flipped teams because I'm all excited about them.
But I know where you were trying to go with. I know you're trying to go with.
But Stafford, I'm worried more because he's closer to my age. He's an older guy, and he gets a good lick. He's already had, I think, 3 concussions. The separated shoulder on his non-throwing side, long in the tooth. You don't want him to take a hit, because 3 of the sacks were against Simmons, who plays their nose tackle / the other 2 positions on the 3-4 defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's getting in there, remember when they drafted Simmons and he was hurt, he wasn't going to play his rookie year.
Right.
It's paying off. Man's a monster.
I mean, it's this Tennessee team has been very impressive. I think they call themselves Sacksville. They live in Sacksville because of Nashville. So we'll see. But they've got a good one coming up this week too. So we'll see if the Titans can keep rolling, and the Rams are going to try to bounce back this week with their addition of Odell Beckham Jr. Well, he'll be back in about a week or so.
I guess Aaron Donald had 1 sack, but I mean, he really yet wasn't the force that I thought he would be. And Taylor Lewan changed his technique after he got bitch smacked. Tell me you didn't.
Man. No, you did. He did. He definitely did.
All right.
Yeah, so last game we're going to talk about Steelers and Bears. It was 29-27. There's a lot of controversy coming out of this game. A lot of controversy coming out of this game, Jay, because
how the hell did Marsh get in trouble? That was a hip check.
Yeah, it was crazy stuff. Great. It was a great game. I mean, Justin Fields Incorporated were really making a push at the end of that contest, man. And, you hate to see a game in that way. Did
you see the one sack on where I think it was Highsmith that got the sack on Fields, and Fields basically just fell down.
Take it, but this Chicago Bear fan, there's got to give you a little hope, because it has been a little bit of a rough season, but Justin Fields to me continues to grow, and I think just give him another year, maybe even 2. And he's going to be special once Aaron Rodgers out of the division.
Well, not even Aaron Rodgers can stay there. Fields is very confident. His teammates rally around that confidence because he's learning, he's growing. He missed Allen Robinson for a touchdown, barely. And I know he missed, it's done. But Allen Robinson has not been involved.
Right.
And for him to take those shots and get him, that is showing that he's growing. He's being able to look down the field. Kudos to him.
Well, you got to pay the moneymaker, because they want to keep Allen. They franchise tagged him. He wanted to leave, but they franchise tagged him. And so my thing is, if you want to keep him, you're going to have to do whatever it takes to keep him. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he goes to free agency next year,
go to the Packers.
Because I'm going to tell you what,
hey.
But I'm going to hold my breath on that too. I'm not going to hold my breath on that too. So that is it for our recap of week 9. And it was a great week 9, but now we're going to head into our week 10 predictions, including tonight. Tonight, the Dolphins host the I was about to call them the Las Vegas Raiders. They host the Ravens tonight. So Ravens coming to this contest. They are 6-2. The Dolphins finally getting a dub.
Is Tua playing?
Tua is not playing. They just announced it a couple seconds ago. Jacoby Brissett will be starting tonight for the Dolphins. Ravens. And I like Jacoby, but I'm sorry. They just don't have enough weapons on that Dolphins team for me.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. I wish they tried to get Xavier Howard. The Ravens did. At the trade deadline. They wouldn't give him away because, Dolphins wanted, their third born child. So
give me all you have. I'm Rumpelstiltskin.
well, it's the second trade deadline that they've tried to trade Howard, and
they're about to eventually when he gets loose, boy, they're gonna lose out on.
They're gonna lose out on what they could have had, but Howard's getting old, so
yeah,
he still plays at a good level, but he's not Marcus Peters / and or Jalen Ramsey or your guy Jameer Alexander.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping we can get Jameer back eventually. But so we both got the Ravens tonight, going against the Dolphins in Miami. Next, we've got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Arlington Desperados Sunday from Arlington. It should be it's gonna be an intriguing one because the last time these two teams went against each other last season, that was at 39. What was it 39-37? Like wild one where the Desperados. Where the Desperados were able to,
Who was the head coach for the Falcons, though?
That would be Mr. Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn's kind of, in the back of his head, anybody would be like, I'm thinking this is my revenge game. So you might see a lot of blitzes and unnecessary things that need to, but I'm okay with it. Break Matt Ryan.
Hey, look, anybody to take out in the division, like, I don't do whatever you need to do. Do whatever you need to do.
I got the sad that Jameis got hurt, to be honest.
Yeah, I almost picked the Falcons in this one, but I know better. Every time I pick the Falcons, they lose. So I'm not even. I don't know which way to go because I can't just put tie. I could put tie, but I'm not going to do that. I got the Desperados in this one.
Okay, I got the Desperados also.
All right, next one, we got the Saints and the Titans from Tennessee. If this was 2 weeks ago, I would pick the Saints, I think, if this was 2 weeks. No, I take that back. I still would pick the Titans because they got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry would have been a monster at the time. I'm going to go with the Titans in this one, but this is a tougher one to call than you would think.
Has a mind because, the Saints have one of the top 10 defenses right now. They're playing great. And, but with, again, Kamara, they've got Ingram back, but their depth after Ingram, they're going to call me. So.
No. Jay's like, I'm ready to go. And Jay's going to throw that game because, that's.
They hand me the ball on
that pewter is in the blood.
It is.
I don't think he's going to let that fly. But
Titans.
Yeah, I got the Titans in this one, but if the Saints win this game, would I be shocked? Not at all. Not at all. Simeon's actually played pretty decent. And Ingram has been really nice addition since he come back. It's been nice to see. And he's, I think if he hasn't already broken the Saints record, I knew he was getting close to doing it in the last game. So next one, we've got the Jaguars and the Colts. Jaguars are obviously playing better football. They won 2 out of their last 3. After being on a 19 or 20 game losing streak. I'm
going Colts though, but just because that's the defense and Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor's special, man. Like, it's crazy because I won't say they haven't really been talking that much about him. They talk about him, but they're not talking about him.
Knock on wood, though, he might have actually broke that curse from Wisconsin running backs.
Oh yeah, let's not go on wood because the Wisconsin running backs fabulous in college football.
Carson Wentz, I read something earlier, is actually expecting his second child to be delivered here very soon. And he's actually told his wife, I'm playing. So
I just did for the first one. It should be good. Zoom call, baby.
Wow.
Zoom call.
Zoom call it, really?
Zoom call it. Look, everything else just say couldn't be in the hospital.
How are you going to Zoom call your wife giving birth, bro?
You can. It's if you can FaceTime, you can do it. I got faith. They got money. They can make it happen. They got money, Jay.
I don't care. You have me as a father, and there's nothing more special than cutting cord and welcoming your child in the world. I don't care.
Nothing beats it. Nothing beats it at all. I got to see 3 of them enter the world. So
Three of it.
3 of it, just 3 of it. But I've got to see 3 of them in the world, and it was special each time. So I definitely agree.
Now, the next game I think that you're going to call was the most difficult one for me to pick, hands down.
Browns, yes. I went Patriots. I went Patriots because I wanted to pick the Browns, but I just got this vibe, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Mac Jones Incorporated will do, but I got the Patriots in this one.
A lot of it for me, I went for the fact that Nick Chubb isn't healthy or with the COVID stuff. Hunt's not playing. Excuse me. And, they traded OBJ and everybody, they won because that's not why they won.
Right.
But Denzel Ward, he had that 100 yards, but he is still not 100% with a hamstring.
That's true.
And he was an injury problem. Okay, not an injury. He was injury prone at Ohio State, and he's taking that into the pros with him.
Yeah, I mean, and just imagine they did all they could to try to get OBJ. Belichick really wanted OBJ there. I think he was trying to get himself a number 1 receiver in his eyes to go along with those young guys. And you know what? I think it could have been really big for New England. I really do think, but Odell's got his mind in a whole different spot. I told you it's all about the brand there. So that's why I didn't end up on him.
Randy Moss even reached out to OBJ and said, go to the Patriots.
And that's coming from the guy. Look, when he went to New England, his career got revitalized. He was in Oakland at the time. Things were a little shaky. He gets traded to New England for an ice cream sandwich and a bologna burger. And he goes out there and becomes a Pro Bowler. And see, Green Bay, I'm having a flashback. All they had to do was give a 4th-round pick for him. Didn't even want to get a 4th-round pick for him.
That, you said that, but not only did it make him a Pro Bowler, he's in history now because the season, the records that he set, I mean.
Yeah, I think what it is, 22 touchdowns that season. 22, 23 touchdowns. It was crazy. Him and Tom were going off that season. So, nevertheless, I like. I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one. I have to. I don't know what it is.
I went Pats also. So
yeah, they're on the come up. Next one, Bills and Jets. This is not as easy as you would think it should be because last week, Bills beat Jaguars, no problem. Well, Guess what? Jets are playing better football right now. They're playing better football right now, even with the losses. With 2 backup quarterbacks, and they've been playing pretty good football.
Well, and Mike White is back this week, and it breaks my heart because Josh Johnson actually got moved out of the practice squad. He threw 300 yards and moved back to the practice squad.
Crazy stuff, right?
It is
crazy stuff because they brought Flacco in, and so Flacco's now the backup quarterback in that situation. But I mean, Mike White, as long as he's healthy, man, if he can he knows this is his chance to prove that he could be a starter in this league. And all I've seen is him play well since he's been in there. That first drive that they had against the Colts, I was like, man, it was crisp. I said, okay, Mike White. Woo-hoo.
And then you go back to why did the Cowboys not keep him? He was a 5th-round pick in 2019.
Right. But you know how that go. Sometimes you just don't flow with other teams, but the way you
got to find where you fit in.
You got to find where you fit in. So, I mean, but I got the Bills, precautionary, but I got the Bills. But, man, the Jets, if they win this game, would I be shocked? No, not at all. Not the Bills last week.
I varied a whole bunch of stuff in. Knox is coming hopefully back this week. And then on the flip side, the best Jets defensive players done for the season.
Oh, see, that's going to be a tough one. I'm going to tell you who's disappeared for the Bills. Emmanuel Sanders. This first 5, 6, 7, 8 game, I'm telling you right now, like Emmanuel Sanders was killing it. Wow, Dawson Knox was there. Since Dawson Knox has been out, I was thinking mentally, Sanders is going to pick up the slack. Not at all. He has completely disappeared since Knox is gone. So hopefully Sanders gets back on the right foot this week along with Knox because I need him on my fantasy. So get it together, buddy.
I'm going to just sit here and call out Stephon Diggs. You got paid, bro. That was your biggest problem while you were at the Vikings. They give you money and you can't catch a cold.
You better get it together, buddy. Got to get it together. Okay.
When your brother plays defense and has more touchdowns than you, ding, 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 ding.
Right. Our man G is chiming in. Thank y'all very much, Green Bay. Y'all recruiting staff sucks. I wanted OBJ in Green Bay. G, you already know how I feel about this, bro. So I, it is what it is. But Jay said it earlier best. It's probably the best thing for Green Bay overall. So, maybe next year we'll actually draft a receiver in the top. Who knows? Well, who knows? Who knows, G? Next
3
match.
more offensive linemen.
Hey, well, the way our offensive line has been beat up this year, I might have to take you on that offer, sir. The next matchup was the Lions and the Steelers. And I got the Steelers.
I kind of wanted to pick the Lions because I want them to win a game because they'll be the first team to go 0-17.
I just want Dan Campbell to get a dub, bro. I've never felt so passionate about a guy who's losing games consistently.
It
I
would
just
make
want
me
to see him
happy
get a win.
if he got a W against either you guys or the Bears.
Oh, well, I would like to see him get it against the Bears, even the Vikings.
No.
But
I can't say the Vikings because my future father-in-law is a Vikings fan. So I know he knows his team has got issues, but safety protocol.
I understand completely. Understand completely. So we both got the Steelers in that one. Next one, Bucks and Washington football team from Washington.
This is going to be a great game, bro.
I think it is too. I think Washington is going to step up to the plate in this one. I think they're going to win. No, I think it will be a good game though.
We got a lot. No Gronk. Chris Godwin is iffy, and our secondary is still hacked up. Heineke and McLaurin are going to hook up like it's prom night.
Not prom night hookup though, Jay. The prom night hookup. That's pretty legit hookup right there. Is the prom night hookup. But I got Bucks in this one, even without. Tom Brady's going to figure out a way. He'll utilize those other guys, the Tyler Johnsons of the world, and see what they can do. And this will be a chance for them to continue to grow. I got the Bucks.
Giovanni Bernard's back, so we'll have that.
I love Giovanni, man. If I want them to use him more, kind of like they use James White in New England. I'm telling you, he's. It could be that same dream.
I'm not going to disagree, but the thing that I've noticed that Leonard, the more you get him the ball, the harder he runs.
This is true.
And when that man runs hard, he's very close to a Marshawn Lynch type of runner. He's pissed off.
I like what I've seen from Leonard Fournette this year. He's been really good this year when he's got it rolling, and he's been really so far this season. So we'll see what. And I got him on my fantasy, but I need him to. I need some touchdowns.
But enough with your fantasy shit.
Hey man, look, I love fantasy football, man. I love
fantasy too, but I don't care. We're doing our picks. This is where I care. I want to beat ESPN.
We always beat ESPN. We've been better for ESPN for the last 2 years.
You missed what I said. I want to beat ESPN.
Get out of here, man. You already got the lead. I don't care.
Knock on wood. Got halfway through the season.
So I don't know where I don't get what code is. I got to see what the updated one is. All right, next one we got Panthers and Cardinals from Arizona.
Cardinals.
We went with Cardinals in this one. PJ Walker is going to make the start, but Cam we won't see till next week. So I'm going with the Cardinals. Next one we've got Vikings and Chargers, 425 game. This is another one, Jay. This is probably the one that was harder for me to pick because it's the same way on both teams. Like you just don't. You could pick either one, and you wouldn't be wrong either way. That's the type of feel for it.
It was hard for me until I seen the stuff going on with Cook. So I don't even think mentally, even if he plays, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think this defense is going to show up and step up for the Chargers. So I'm going Chargers.
I picked the Vikings. I don't know why. I'll be honest with you, I flipped the coin. I sat in my room and I hit one of these checks right here and said, okay, it's going to be the Vikings. So I'm going with the Vikings. Next one, we got Eagles and Broncos. I couldn't pick them, man. It was
this
hard.
one was close too. But
this is another tough one.
I went with the hot hand. I believe I picked the Broncos just because the Eagles flip between Scott, Gainwell or whatever his name is, and Jordan Howard at running back. And their best running back is Jalen Hurts.
And Howard has been really good the last couple of weeks, so it's been nice to see what he's been able to do there. Boston Scott is mixed in. It's crazy that they started running the ball after Miles Sanders got hurt. Miles Sanders has been healthy the whole year. Then you don't run the football with him. He gets hurt. Then you start to run the football. Do you not like Miles Sanders? That's the question I need an answer to. I don't understand it at all.
It could be they're trying to save the tread. I don't know, but I'm with you. I love the way he runs the ball. He's very good at catching the ball. And, since they've traded Zach Ertz, their tight end play is you haven't seen much there.
Exactly. So it was a tough one. I went with the Broncos. It was a really tough one to call. That's all I got on that one. Next one, Packers and Seahawks from Lambeau, 425. Devontae said earlier this week that this game always feels like a division game. And it does. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Seahawks are one of the teams that I always get nervous playing. And with for me, there's two games. Fail Murray, NFC Championship game 2015. But every game that we play against them is always tight. It's always close. It's always a battle. So, I went with the Packers. That's if Aaron's playing. If Jordan Love's playing, Russell Wilson about to go off.
Wilson's first game back, and against your defense, it's really been phenomenal the last 2 weeks. No Carson. If Carson, there was speculation he possibly could come back. If Carson came back, I might have picked different and went in Seattle. But because the way everything, Aaron's back, possibly back. I hope he's back. They said he was.
We'll know about Saturday. We'll know about Saturday.
If he ain't back, Cody's gonna get a whole bunch of messages.
Hey man, I need you to switch this day. He ain't playing. I need you to switch it.
Now, funny thing, when OBJ was still trying to pick who he was going to go to, a lot of people said, "Is DK Metcalf a ripped version of OBJ?"
Got the hair for it.
Because of the hair and
got
everything.
The hair for it, man. It wouldn't surprise me. But I a lot of those teams that he was going to go to, I was like, well, they got too many receivers there. Like even Kansas City, like they're stud out.
They just got Gordon. They got Pringle.
They got Robinson. All of they don't need receivers. That's why I said I was kind of shocked when they were saying, I was like, they don't need receivers. Heck, the Rams don't need receivers. But
I think he would have been way smarter to play for the Ravens.
The Ravens would have been a good spot. There was a couple other teams that could have went to. The Ravens would have been a good spot because with him and Hollywood, it would have been a little bit different, and he could have got a little bit.
Bateman just come back from the injured reserve, so that would open the field for everybody else, and he gets to play the Browns again.
Exactly. But maybe next one we got Chiefs and Raiders from the Starship out there in Vegas.
This was another hard one.
I picked the Chiefs, but it was tough. They
played good against the Packers. So for me, no, actually, you know what? I think I picked the Raiders, to be honest.
See, I wanted to pick the Raiders, but we don't know what Raiders. There's another team that you just don't know what team you're going to get from week to week.
I really think Derek Carr is where the Raiders win or lose, plain and simple.
Right.
And he knows he blew the game last week. He's going to step up and he's going to fix what he's got to. We just need the defense for the Raiders to come together because Pat Mahomes knows his team. He plays them twice a year, but that win against the Packers should have not been a win.
It shouldn't. That's the crazy thing about it. Even with no Jordan Love and their offense looking as bad as they did, the Chiefs didn't look like they wanted to play. Like I was sitting there like, when are the Chiefs going to turn this up? Like the whole game, I kept saying, when are they going to be taking a 2-touchdown, a 3-touchdown, 4-touchdown lead? And it never happened.
Did you see how that? Like he had Hill down the field and he overthrew him by 5 yards.
There's something amiss there. They got to figure. I don't know what it is. I know the league is figuring him out a little bit, but he's way too talented for it to be this bad. It's something they've got to figure out whatever's going on internally.
It's Sean Taylor because his little brother was dancing on that stuff.
I know, right? See that karma shortage. Raiders with Deshaun Jackson plug in and sneak up on a lot of people. KC secondary is horrible. I definitely see Deshaun Jackson getting a touchdown in this game. If I had to if I was a betting man, I would say he gets one.
I agree with G because I went through and I was trying to see if there was any free agents that could help. Because heck, even last week against Jordan Love, Juan Thornhill still looked better than Sorensen, but he still looked lost back there.
Yeah, I mean, and now that starts to make you wonder because this is a defense that won a Super Bowl 2 years ago with pretty much the same players, and now they're just like it's just a fault. They're falling apart. They were great. They were better.
All you got to do is stop two people, Frank Clark and Jones.
Yep, and then Tyrann Mathieu, the honey badger, occasionally gets some type of something. Those are only three people you got to worry about on that defense. That's it. The rest of the defense is like, yeah. So we'll see. Last one was the what you said, Jay? Did you say? I'm sorry, bro. Did you say something?
I like chocolate. The Rams and the Niners.
I like chocolate. Okay, we got the Rams. We got the Rams and the Niners on Monday night, and oh man, Jay, I tell you what, OBJ's not playing this week. I don't think that really makes a difference. I would have picked the 49ers, but I found out a very interesting fact about the 49ers. The 49ers are 1-8 at Santa Clara in the last 2 years. They don't win at home.
No, but I do now. Damn.
That's crazy, right? Like I saw that and I said, wow, they're 1-8 at home. You can't win at home. And they haven't won any game. They won a lot of their games on the road. Now, obviously, they won home games technically, but they were playing in Arizona last year. So, but actually in Santa Clara, they're 1-8 in their last 9 games.
Oh, wait. Okay. Injury report: Matthew Stafford is questionable. Von Miller is questionable.
Well,
That's that.
I don't know.
That's different. So that means Wolford might get the start.
Well, Wolford played pretty decent last year when he had to come in relief. So
for Goff, I know because he came in that fun game that you and I watched when the Bucks played the Rams, and it was like they scored 100 combined.
Right, and then he in the playoff he won a game last year. So I mean, he got a little experience there. He won a playoff game last year. So, I mean, it could be worse people you have coming in to be your starting quarterback if Stafford doesn't play. Touché. All right, everybody. That is our predictions for week 10. Another week that I need to have a good week because the last couple have been ugly and they have not been pretty at all.
Last week was rough for me. That's my first rough week. Knock on wood.
Right. It was a rough week, but hopefully we'll be able to bounce that thing back around, man, because it was ugly. All right, everybody. You already know what time it is. You can go ahead and close your ears now. It is time for...
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
All right, everybody. Cash or Trash. Let's get this party started before we finish this bad boy up. Cash or Trash. Did I put Mac Jones? Is it Mac Jones? Am I saying it wrong?
It's Mac Jones. It's on.
It's Mac. I don't know why I had a whole moment. Mac Jones, is he the rookie of the year as of now? Cash or Trash?
Offensive rookie of the year? No. I'm sticking with Jamar.
I'm gonna say cash. I don't know what it is. I know by the end of the season, I think he'll definitely be the rookie of the year. But the way Jamar Chase has been killing him right now, yeah. So, but I'm gonna cash it though. I'm cash it. I like what
Trash.
I love it. Next one, cash or trash. NFL fines need to be fixed or restructured. The structure, and the reason I say this is because one, you had CeeDee Lamb get fined $20,000 for having his shirt untucked. Aaron Rodgers gets fined $14,000 for putting people's lives in danger. If in most people's eyes. So do you care more about the lives or do you care about how pretty the uniform looks? So cash or trash on the
Get
NFL.
your shit together. Does that tell you my answer?
Yeah, we can cash it. You need to be fixed, baby. You need to be fixed. I still think that Aaron Rodgers should have been fined at least $100,000, and I know that's coming from a Packers fan.
I'm saying a game check.
A game check. At least one game check.
And then the fine should have been put towards some sort of charity for COVID protocols.
I like that. That's a really, yes, Jay. Yeah, I like that. So me and Jay are both cashing it. Next one, cash or trash. The Cavaliers and the Wizards will make the playoffs. Great game last night, by the way. Great game.
Ooh.
Wizards ended up winning it. Cavaliers and Wizards, man, really put on a show. It was a really good game.
If it would have been last year, you'd been like, this is a shit game. But for me, the Cavs are legit. Mobley and LA, I'm gonna steal something from him. We're gonna look back in 10 years, and could this draft class be comparable to the 2004 draft class?
I can see a little bit of that. I mean, they've got a lot of talent. The Jalen Greens, the Cade Cunningham. They're still trying to get their feet wet. But Mobley, to me right now, Mobley is the rookie of the year, because I've been very impressed by the big man. I like what I've seen from him so far.
He's a do-it-all. He does everything, bro.
He does it. He's 7'8" or some crazy number. He had 19 points last night. 19 points last night, 7 rebounds, had a block in there, 7-8 from the field, but he's young, he's crafty, he's tough. It's a really nice young team that Cleveland has. I like what I've seen in Cleveland. I really have. But the Wizards, on the other hand, I mean, hey man, you get rid of Scott Brooks, and the Wizards, to me, Jay, prove that coaching means a ton in the NBA. This is why the Wizards are winning, and this is why Nikolai Jokic said, no, please. He begged Wes Unseld Jr. to leave. He said, please don't leave. He begged them not to go from Denver. He said, please don't go. And this is why. The Wizards right now, the Washington Wizards, if the season ended today, are the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. No one saw that sucker coming. Not a soul. Not a soul. I know it's early, but I'm like, man.
It was great because I watched portions of the Bucks game, and just see it's a completely different team. And I love the fact that Kyle Kuzma is he's able to do his own thing. He's from Flint, Michigan. I really liked him coming out of college, and I love it.
Yeah, so, I'm liking what I'm seeing from both of these teams so far. Yeah, I probably should have threw the Bulls in there, but the Bulls did kind of went out there and signed themselves a really good team. But they look really good right now too. So like the top of the East is a whole different dream right now. Like I would have never thought I was seeing what I've seen from the East. But this is the top of the East before we move on and get out of here. Wizards 1, Bulls 2, Nets 3, Sixers 4, Heat 5, Cavaliers 6, Knicks 7, and the Bucks are 8th. That's the Eastern Conference right now. Crazy.
Well, and with that, I mean, they're not that far. I mean, what we got? There's 1.5 games separating. Hell, we'll even go down to New York and throw them in there between 7 and 1.
Right. So it's still early, but very impressed by those 3 teams: Bulls, Wizards, and definitely Cleveland Cavaliers. They played really tough ball this year. I think they even beat Dallas the other day, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they've been playing good basketball. So if you're a true Cleveland Cavaliers fan, you got something to smile about. Yeah. All right, y'all. Oh, go ahead, Jay. My fault.
Oh, no, I was gonna say that. I mean, it's just weird because you know it's gonna change because Atlanta's 4-8 down there at the bottom, and then also the Celtics. What the? What's going on there?
There's something going on there now. Obviously Brad Stevens left being the head coach to move into the front office, and then they brought in the young man down. I think he was in Orlando. He was assistant coach down in Orlando and brought him in to become the head coach. So it's different time right there. That's why you've been hearing these trade talks for Ben Simmons, for Jaylen Brown, that if I'm the Sixers and you can make that happen, take it immediately.
They jumping on it. But, the Sixers, if Ben or Joel Embiid, COVID protocol right now.
Yeah, man, COVID is catching everybody on the sneak, man. Y'all be safe out there, man. Y'all got to be as safe as you possibly can. It's crazy out there right now.
What we say is, I know we're getting close.
All right.
Make sure.
Yes.
Tell your loved ones you love them.
Yes.
Give your hugs to your peeps because you never know.
Yeah, man, this thing is crazy right now. It's been a wild year and a half. I know everybody's beating that horse over the dead head horse or whatever catchphrase you say, but it's been that way. So just be safe while y'all are out there. Last one, cash or trash. Markieff Morris should have also been suspended as well after that push on Nikola Djokovic.
Cash.
I cash it too. You started the fight and you only get a fine. Crazy stuff to me. What's going on?
I mean, in that one, it took two to tango. You started it, and I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. Djokovic finished it. That'd be like,
and he should have. Like, I was watching, I can't remember what show, but I think they said in the show, I think it was Charles Barkley and them on TNT, and he said, man, in the hood, he said we all go that in the hood because he said once you push me, I'm gonna finish it. They should, and he's lucky he didn't go and retaliate a little bit more than that. That he should be lucky that he didn't go a little bit more on him.
But then looking at the size comparison between Joe and Morris, that'd been like DJ punching you.
Right. But the funny part was, and I'm a Heat fan, you know that, but Morris is on the ground. I'm like, but get up, man. You shouldn't have started the fight. But my man Jimmy Butler was in the back talking cold hard cash. They showed a picture of the Heat players in the hallway waiting for Djokovic to walk by. They were all sitting in the hallway like this. They were sitting there waiting like,
hey, do you see that? Do you see that the way your head's right there? I'm begging you. I'm begging you and DJ, you can have one picture at our wedding.
I only need one. I don't need no more than that. Just asking for one.
But you gotta do that when you're doing it. You gotta say the full name of that football team.
Are you trying to get me injured on your wedding day, sir? How dare you, sir? All right, everybody.
I love you say injured when really you want to say you won't get me murdered.
That's true too. But I don't think she will murder on her wedding day, but she might disfigure. And I don't want to be involved in that on the wedding day. All right, everybody. That is it here. Wait a minute. What up, Russ?
Russ,
we love you, brother. Love you, brother.
You, bro.
Love you.
I actually need you to give me a call because I have something to deliver you, bro. Not
right,
tonight because it's night time. Call me tomorrow.
All right, everybody. It is your boy Darrell Owens. It's your man Jeremiah Quimby. This has been another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. We hit you up with 285. We'll be back next week with 286. We'll probably take a break for Thanksgiving and then come back the week after to get going. And so we want to thank everybody for just supporting us. 5 years in the game. Thank you so much. The vapor. I got the vapors. All right, everybody. Look, we love y'all, man. Y'all take care of yourselves. Have yourself a phenomenal evening. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the game tonight. And go Ravens. Only because I need a dub. All right, everybody. Until next time. Peace.